Oh my god, hey! It's good to see me, isn't it? No need to respond, because this is YouTube and I can't actually hear what you're saying. If you are seeing my face for the first time, hello! My name is Mickey Joe and I'm obsessed with all things theatre. I am a theatre pundit and critic and content creator based here on YouTube, and today I have taken a break from my regular schedule of reviews and reactions to bring you some breaking news about the Wicked movie. As if the flying monkey in the background didn't make it clear enough that today we're talking about Wicked. I'm also wearing all green with a green light on my face. This is a Wicked New York t-shirt that you can get at the Gershwin Theatre or at One Schubert Alley. I was actually gifted this while I was in New York. Shout out to the Araka Group, the company that makes these t-shirts and a lot of exciting Broadway merch, and it has the New York skyline. I already had the same one for London, and now I have a Broadway one to match. How fun! Needless to say, this video is going to be full of spoilers, not just about the leaks that have emerged from the Wicked film set, but also about the plot of the show itself. We're going to be talking about everything that we already know and that we have recently found out in a lot of detail. If you do not want spoilers for the show or for the film, this is not the video for you. So if you know nothing about this whatsoever, the fan favourite musical Wicked, that has just celebrated 2 decades on Broadway at the Gershwin Theatre, is finally being adapted for a film. They are literally shooting the thing right now, which is so exciting because we have been waiting for a Wicked film to actually get made for what feels like the longest time. It is being directed by John M Chu, who recently directed the film adaptation of In the Heights, and it is controversially going to be split into 2 parts. It's going to be a 2-part film starring Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba and Ariana Grande as Glinda. This is definitely one of the most talked about movie musical adaptations of recent years, and fans have been so excited for this, even though the actual release of the films is still a little way off. However, we've finally got our first little snippet of what the film is going to look like when director John M Chu took to Twitter and decided to drop a couple of production images. Now, I already posted about this on TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, by the way, go and head over there. I think I finally figured out how to use that platform and post some different stuff to YouTube and not just duplicate all of my content. So if you have TikTok, go and follow me on TikTok. And if you don't have TikTok, do not worry. YouTube is very much still my first love. So we got one shot of Cynthia as Elphaba and one shot of Ariana Grande as Glinda. And these were some very dark photos. So I downloaded these, I whacked the exposure right up so we could see some more details. Let's have another little look now and see what we can spot. So in the picture of Cynthia as Elphaba, she appears to be standing in a window. Because you can see this room has other similar windows on the opposite side, so she seems to be at the top of some sort of a tower, and you can see her cape is trailing out of the window. Either she's just flown in, which would put this perhaps in the second film when she's flying around Oz doing her Wicked Witch stuff, or she is readying herself to fly out of the window, and what we're actually seeing here is defying gravity. The fact that her hair is in a ponytail, I mean, she's got the cape, she's got the hat, this could just as easily be the defying gravity scene. There's really not much of a way to tell. Does this look like it could be the attic of Emerald City? Well, there's green, so there is that. It certainly looks a little bit more like an attic than it does like a castle, where she traditionally has her fortress. But then we can't rely on all of these details being identical for the film. Things are going to change. Meanwhile, if we have a look at this shot of Ariana, she is wearing this pink dress with long blonde hair. She looks lovely. This dress has been the cause of much speculation, much rumor and speculation, I should say. Innuendo, outuendo. What we can see is that she is walking up a giant set of stairs. Clearly Oz is a magical place, but they have not yet invented the concept of elevators. And this whole room that she's in has a lot of wooden beams. It's giving me the end of National Treasure. I still have nightmares about that whole sequence. And my initial thought with this was that what we're seeing here is going to be the bubble dress, the No One Mourns the Wicked, also the For Good dress that Glinda wears in the stage version. Now, yes, the stage version is blue. However, Glinda's bubble dress in the original Wicked movie is also a similar shade of pink. I think Ariana Grande with her colorings probably looks better in pink for what it's worth, and they're not going to be completely religious to all of the color details in the film. A lot of people have been on my TikTok saying it's got to be the popular dress, it's pink, this is the Ozdust Ballroom dress, and I don't think so. I think this is the No One Mourns the Wicked dress. And Wicked fans, I am here to tell you that if you are going to get this precious about every single detail of the film, you are in for a rude awakening. I say this as someone who has had their favourite musical ever, shout out Into the Woods, adapted for film, and was not wholeheartedly pleased with the adaptation. I had similar feelings about an adaptation of another of my favourite musicals, Les Miserables. I also really love A Chorus Line. Wasn't a great movie, and all of these made changes in various places. Like, it's not a pro shot. We just have to accept that it's not a pro shot, it's an adaptation of the stage musical. And because this is a film adaptation, invariably it's also likely to pay homage to the original Wizard of Oz film and the iconography from that, because, and this is going to blow your mind, but for some people seeing this in the cinema, they won't know Wicked as a musical. They will just know this as a twist on the Wizard of Oz. So absolutely, the film's marketing is still going to use this "so much happened before Dorothy dropped in" twist, because they are using the Wizard of Oz as a springboard point. So very possibly they would rather she looks more similar to the film version of Glinda. One thing I didn't notice until someone pointed it out on Twitter: she's holding books. Now, she could hold books at various points. This could be her having just seen Madame Morrible at the party and being given a book because she's been accepted to the sorcery tutorial. Maybe that doesn't even happen in the film anymore, although I hope it does, because it's an important turning point for her as a character and her relationship with Elphaba. But most likely is that this is, and apparently I've been pronouncing it wrong, but the Grimmery. I feel like they say Grimmery in the stage show. Do they not say, someone said it's like grimoire. Excuse me, sir, I would like to order the grimoire. But I do think that that's what this is. I think she's holding the Grimmery, having just done for good with Elphaba, and she is climbing up to go and get in the bubble to bubble down and go tell everyone that everything is wonderful. And yes, that is from the end of the show and possibly the end of the second film. But maybe we see this shot at the beginning of the first film, because that's how Wicked sets itself up. We begin with that "No one mourns the wicked," and I do think that is going to be the way that the film starts. I don't think we're going to just get a chronological version where we start with Elphaba's birth and go through Shiz. I think we're still going to have that scene with Glinda at the beginning, because how could you cut "No one mourns the wicked"? So this is everything that I had been thinking. And then, like magic, we got a leak. Oh, did we get a leak? A leak that just about broke the musical theatre internet. So not content with these dark, wide shots from John M Chu, who did clarify in a later tweet that the actual film would be more colourful, so don't you worry. And based on what he did within the Heights, I'm not worried. We got, I don't know if this was like long-range camera or drone footage, but we actually got some photos and video of Ariana Grande filming "No One Mourns the Wicked." So we know a few things based on this. We know that, yes, that pink dress is the bubble dress. We know that "No One Mourns the Wicked" appears to still be in the film. We know that that section of it remains unchanged. Now, I'm not going to put any of the leaked imagery or audio in this video. You can find it very easily on the internet. If you go and do a quick Google, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram. You can find it in various places. I'm not going to put it in here because things have been taken down from the internet, and I am not trying to get a strongly worded email. I'm not about to get on the wrong side of Universal, okay? But we have now seen this leaked wide shot of Munchkinland with a lot of like straw huts, lots of colour, a winding yellow brick road, this big like banner with Elphaba drawn on it, warning people about the witch, and this caricature drawing of her. And most importantly, we have seen footage of Ariana Grande getting up out of this sort of clamshell chariot type thing, which may form like the base of the bubble. Very interested to see whether this is a completely magical bubble or something more technological. It's never really explained within the show, but it appears as though it might be more technology and less magic, because the Glinda that we know in Act 2 of Wicked hasn't really discovered her magical prowess at this point. It's implied that she might do following the events of the show. And those of you who know the lore of the Gregory Maguire novels can probably provide some input here as well. But she has a tiara that looks somewhere between the stage version and the original film version. Like I said, the dress is pink, the hair is blonde. She looks lovely. She looks very Glindified. Now let's talk about the singing, because since the casting came out, we have been saying Cynthia Erivo, yes, we know she can sing it, that is exciting. Ariana Grande has a beautiful voice, has a very successful commercial pop voice, but we haven't heard her do legit musical theatre in a while. She has roots on the stage. She was in 13, and we know she has a massive adoration for the stage and for this musical, and this familiarity with Kristen Chenoweth, this enduring friendship that they have, but we haven't heard her sing it. Now we have. And let me tell you, the vocal is good. The vocal's good, everybody. So there are actually two clips that have emerged. One is being circulated by Entertainment Weekly, although I don't think it was their footage originally necessarily. And in that one, we can hear her singing the beginning bit of "No One Mourns the Wicked" from "Let us rejoicify that goodness could subdue," all the way through the end of "Outlive a lie for you and and she sounds a lot better than I do. It's this whole opening soprano section. If anything was going to lay her voice absolutely bare for us to hear what she's going to sound like, it was going to be this part of the song. Because Glinda is a soprano role, but she's not really all the way up there or as exposed vocally at any other point during the score of the show as she is in this moment. She sounds great here. She sounds so great. A lot of people took to social media to allege that this was actually the Kristin Chenoweth track that she was lip-syncing along to for filming, which would be odd for a number of reasons, but it does sound uncannily like Chenoweth's inflections at a few moments, especially that "isn't it nice to know." All of that sounds very Chenoweth, very, very familiar of the No One Mourns the Wicked track on the cast recording, which obviously many of us have listened to many, many times, so we know it very well. But I'm a man with some audio editing software sitting in front of you saying I do not think that this is the Kristin Chenoweth track. I know it sounds so like her. If you listen all the way to the end, there are a couple of differences that you can pick out if you compare and contrast, but if you actually put the two waveforms on top of each other, the timing does not line up. And it's not even just that if you slow Chenoweth down, it will line up more. The gaps between are completely different. Unless they have taken the Chenoweth track and spread it to different points, the logic of which I do not understand, then I do not believe that this is the Kristin Chenoweth track. I think this is just Ariana Grande, who has a well-documented skill of mimicry that she has shown throughout her career. She went on Saturday Night Live and imitated a bunch of other recording artists. I think this is her having been just as in love with the Wicked Cast album as many of us were, and imitating a lot of Chenoweth's inflections. Now, in the other clip that was leaked, that was actually posted on Instagram by Caitlin Tipping, the actress currently understudying Elsa in the West End production of Frozen, and who was recently in the Six tour as Jane Seymour, Ariana Grande is singing a different part of No One Mourns the Wicked. It goes from "and goodness knows the wicked's lives are lonely" through "it just shows when you're wicked you're left only on your own," and we then hear a bit of the ensemble vocal that comes afterwards. This sounds much more like Ariana Grande. It still sounds lovely and sounds not like her pop stuff, but you can hear that it's her. And I think this is another really lovely vocal from what we've heard. You can hear the emotion in it, you can hear the fragility. These are the lyrics that Glinda sings at this part that are going to come to mean so much more once we've explored the rest of the story. And for Ariana Grande to be, from what we can tell, finding that richness and that depth in the character at these moments is very encouraging to me about her acting performance. She's taken that into consideration. I know I'm taking a lot from just a little bit of a vocal with a lot of wind over the top of it, but that is what I'm thinking at this point. At the very least, it is encouraging because Ariana in this role was a little bit of an unknown quantity. For those of you Wicked fans who want to know about vocal choices, she does not appear to be giving you a big belty Louise Dearman style "the wicked die alone." That's not happening from what we can tell, nor does it sound like she's recorded the other belty option that Glinda sometimes do in this part of the song. "You're left only on your own." It all seems to be a lot softer than that, and I'm fine with that because this is not a stage vocal. This is a film vocal. I would refer you to the recent film adaptation of Matilda, where Lashana Lynch, who it seems is a very confident vocalist, held back a lot more as Miss Honey compared to the stage version. In the stage version, they let rip, absolutely, and it hits right up to the rafters. In the film, the camera is right on you, and we're going to hear everything. I don't think we need that level of like belted intensity at every single moment, and probably not in No One Mourns the Wicked when she's descended down and she's just being nice and sweet and there's a pain behind the eyes. I don't think belting would really be appropriate in that moment. On stage, sure, give it to me every single time, but in the film, I think it's probably the better choice. The subtleties within the acting performance are always going to be more important when you have a camera on you. Listening through to the rest of the ensemble vocals in this recording, there's not an awful lot that we can glean from this. I feel like there's one part of the tenor line that has been excised, but then the tenor line comes back in slightly later in the clip. I don't know if it's just that I'm not hearing it through all of the wind noise, or if it's a little bit of a prominent tenor line that's a little bit too show-offy. And again, on a film, they said we maybe don't need that because it's pulling focus. Creating a sound for the stage and creating a sound for film are two very different worlds, and this team knows that as well as anyone. But at this point, that is essentially all we know so far. I have mixed feelings about this because, don't get me wrong, I'm very excited when these leaks emerge and to find out these details, and it has left me feeling more confident about the film and probably a little bit more excited about the film. However, I don't want everything to be revealed at every single step of shooting, because otherwise the whole film is just going to get spoiled for us. Like, imagine getting to find these things out in real time in the cinema. I want us musical theatre fans to have our Marvel movie cheering moment. But I did also read a tweet from a friend that suggested that they have now done all of their inside filming, and what they are now focusing on, in line with the slight upturn in the British weather, is the outdoor filming. So very possibly, if people are out there with drones, if the news outlets and the Ariana Grande fans are flying their drones over the filming location, which is just a little outside of London, by the way, then it's very possible that these are not the last leaks we will see or hear from the set of Wicked. And as and when we see and hear some more, there is a very good chance that I will be back on here telling you all about it. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little update on the film. I am desperate for you to all weigh in the comments section. What do we think of this? Have you heard the clips? Have you seen the pictures? If you haven't yet, I've posted some of it on TikTok, on my TikTok at Mickey Joe Theatre. You can go see it over there, or you can Google. It's all over the internet at this point. But what do we think? What do we think of what we're hearing from Ariana Grande so far? What do we think of her look as Glinda? And what do we think about the actual official production imagery that has been posted by director John M Chu? Let me know in the comment section. Let's talk about all of it. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe to my Stager YouTube channel for more reviews and coverage and more updates about the Wicked movie as we slowly crawl towards the release date of the first film. I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day. For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey, thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!